Hey everybody, this is Manuel. Today I would like to talk to you about the DxO ViewPoint 3 software. Now, if you're wondering what that is, it's a software where you can bring your building upright. If there's any distortion in your photo, that helps greatly, and you can actually create some nice miniature effect with your image by blurring the top and the bottom part. So I'm going to talk to you about what the software can do, a quick review, and examples how to work these images. Okay, so let's take a look in Lightroom. I have this image of Miami, actually. So what are we going to do here? We can tell that I shot that with a Tokina 11-16 f2.8, and the buildings are pretty much, yeah, in a vertical in the middle, but more like in a 45-degree angle almost on the side. So there's a lot of distortion. So I could go to Lightroom, go to the development module and deal with this, but we're going to talk about DxO ViewPoint 3. So I'm going to go, and it works as a plugin in Lightroom. So as you can tell, it's right there. And I'm going to do a copy with the Lightroom adjustments. And it's going to open DxO ViewPoint 3 for me. Now, I'm on the demo right now, so we're going to work the demo. So this is what you get when you start working your photo. There's a few things happening. On the top left corner, you have the like side-by-side comparison, the before and after type thing, the actual zoom in back to the fit and the before and after, and you can get a grid to help you work with your perspective. On the right side, you get the distortion. Now, you need to open the original image to have a better result, but what you can do is yeah, those little tabs here, and you can just go and deal with the fisheye, the barrel on the vision distortion there. So you can change intensity if you want to, but we're going to leave that off for now. Then you get a volume deformation, another thing you can do as well with portraits and stuff like that. Now I'm going to take that off, and we're going to work on the perspective. So you can use the auto if you want, but we're not going to use the auto, and I'll show you how to use what we call the force vertical parallels, and then I'll show you afterwards the horizontal, the rectangle, the 8 points. So let's start with the force vertical. So when I click on that, you have two bars. So what you're going to do is trying to match the bars with the sides of the building that you want to correct, or the perspective. So the neat thing is it kind of zoom in a little bit when you take those round corner, I guess I should say, of the bar, and then you can align this and press apply, and then boom, just like that, your perspective is way better. Now it did crop a whole lot, but we'll deal with that in a minute. So that was basically the force vertical parallel. So if I click back on there, you can see where my crop happened. Okay, so we're going to reset this, and we're going to go back there, and then we're going to choose the horizontal. Horizontal obviously will be if it's the other way around, but in this case you get the same idea. You get your bars. We're going to choose the rectangle, so we get both. So again, we're going to do the same thing where we're going to go around, choose the sign of our building just like so. Then we're going to try to keep this bar as much as we can horizontal and vertical. And if you know you have somewhere like that you want to keep straight, like for say like there's a street there, so we're going to bring that, this is where I want to be my horizon as well. So by doing that, it is slightly better depending on which image you're working with. Okay, and then you get the 8 points. If I were to click on the 8 points, then it's the same thing, but you get 8 points. So I really like this 4. Okay, so now you can tell the side did a pretty good job, but the center is still a little kind of out of alignment too, and my image got stretched. So you can correct that if you want to, which you can go by the correct here, but what we're going to do here is the up and down. Now it's going to flip your image a thing up and down, so you're going to try to make it so your building looks well aligned. This is where this really comes in play here, your little grid. So I think this is pretty much good like this. And then left and right, you can move it from left to right, but we don't necessarily want this in this occasion. and the height can be changed to come back to a normal perspective by the H-V ratio there. I presume it's horizontal dash vertical ratio. And now I really like this. Now you can change the intensity as well. So we go back to 0 but to the original, and you can bring your bar if you think it's too much or whatever it is. So like for me, 100% looks very good here. So it looks fantastic. And then if I keep moseying on here, we have the crop and the horizon now, but we're gonna go with the crop here and see what the crop is. So if you feel like you want to play in Photoshop a bit and just fix the side there, you can also do that. Bring in whatever you want. You can tailor your crop to your need. And the horizon, you can try to do auto as well, so your horizon is a little bit more straight, which in this case looks pretty good. But we have this black bar now on the bottom, so not necessarily what we want, so we're going to turn that off. And then we get miniature effect, which we're not going to do in this case because it's not the right photo. But so this is it in a nutshell. So you can change quite a bit. You can do quite a bit. Now my image looks very good, so I'm going to save this, and then it's going to be processing it, and then we're back to Lightroom. So if I were trying to do that into Lightroom, I could go to the develop module, I can go down, I can look at auto, and then it'll do more or less the same thing. Again, you can choose your horizontal, vertical, and find something you like. But it didn't do such a great job with the side of the buildings there. See, it is actually better with Viewpoint 3. So basically it's a good tool if you think that you're going to work a lot with like photos that are crooked and you don't want to spend tons of time in Photoshop or any other software to deal with it. So this is it in a nutshell, how to actually fix the problem. It was quick, efficient, works fine, so I would highly recommend it. Actually, it's very nice. So if you don't have anything like Photoshop, Lightroom, if you don't have a workflow that works, that's quick for you, then Viewpoint 3 is good for you. Now, I want to show you a photo I took in Seattle. We're going to go to my filter there, and we're going to make a miniature world. So what I mean by that is when I take this photo here, I'm going to right click and I'm going to open that into Viewpoint 3. And what we're going to kind of create there is we're going to blur part of the image and make it look very nice. So if you had something crooked, you can fix it all. And then we're going to go to miniature effect. We're going to click on this, and then we're going to have a blur line on top and a blur line at the bottom. So I'm going to click here, and then I can change by dragging back and forth here how this is going to look. So by doing that, I can rotate them. I can change where that's going to be. I can also click on this little gray one and make the effect more permanent or less permanent. So it's really up to you. As well, if you come here on the right side, you'll find the blur shape is circular. You get sharp and different type of blades. You can change that. And the symmetric position, I should say, sorry. I like this. So what happened now is I can choose the bottom one and really rotate that to my needs. So in this case, I kind of want to have all these little tools, or actually, I should say container there, to be part of my miniature world. And you can change the lines. So basically past the line is 100% opacity, and between the line it's like a gradient line. So the effect will change. So same thing here. I can kind of line that up to have the actual boats and everything working, and looks very good this way. So you can change the symmetric blur. So at this point I can change if I want only the blur on the top part to make it worse or greater or not as great. So you can that way change it out. So whatever works with your image, you'll be able to tailor that. So which is actually a pretty awesome feature. I really like that. So we're going to tone that down just a notch there. And I'm going to look at this. It looks like we are playing with little Legos or something. The part looks very small. So we're going to apply, and then we're going to save. And this is it. This is how you can create a miniature world, which is lots of fun, which is not necessarily something you want to play in like all the time. But this image actually I've done as well. So it looked like you have a miniature church and stuff. So it's actually pretty cool. So Viewpoint 3 costs quite a bit of money. It's around, if I get this straight, like $90 to $100 mark. But if you want a software that works great and fast to get your building and your viewpoint back up straight, this is for you. And there's a plus, you can find that cool little miniature world added to it. Now there's a simpler version, I don't know if it's an older version or different product that I found on the App Store in Canada, where it's way cheaper, around the $20 mark if I get this straight, and it's only to straighten buildings and stuff like that, so your perspective. So depending on what you're looking for, it is not an app that you can put into your Photos library at this moment. You'll need to use that as a plugin in different software, but not in Photos. But you can, if you want, you can use it as a standalone app and then fix your photos that way. So it's just a little extra step you can take in post-processing. So this is it in a nutshell. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions and requests or anything like that, please leave them in the comments below. And once again, thanks for watching.